Hey everybody, I'm Brian.
And I'm Nikki.
And we are Cooking with Dakotas. I'm a finance guy.
And I'm a registered dietitian. And together we are going to show you and this guy how to make these delicious recipes in your own kitchen.
Let's get started. What do we have today, Nikki?
We are doing a sriracha glazed meatball recipe. I love this. This is a meal prep item that I've made for a few years now. Super easy and quick, and you can pair it with your favorite sides. And it's just a great combo of flavors that just are delicious.
I agree. Let's get started. So we have our mise en place, everything in its place.
So let's go through the ingredients. We're going to be using a ground turkey for our meatballs today. So in our ground turkey we have some panko breadcrumbs. This is different than just a regular breadcrumb. These are a lot lighter. It helps prevent the meatballs from being a little too dense. We have garlic powder, we have ginger powder, we have salt, pepper, and green onions. And we also have garlic and eggs that are going to go into the meatball. And then for our sauce, sriracha is the main ingredient, alongside some soy sauce, some rice wine vinegar, some honey, some lime juice, and some other seasonings. So let's get cooking. So Brian's gonna mix all the ingredients into the ground turkey so we can make our meatballs. So we're gonna start off with doing 1 cup of panko breadcrumbs, 2 eggs.
Ideally we don't want shells in this, but you can add a little bit of shell if you want that extra crunch.
Green onions. Half of a teaspoon of garlic powder. Half a teaspoon of salt. And then just grate a bunch of black pepper in there. All right, now you're gonna use your hands and you're gonna mix it all together. Like you're massaging the meat.
This is really great because I still needed to moisturize my hands today, so this is just a win-win right now. Oh, it's cold. Oh, it's cold. All right, so now we're gonna form our meatballs.
So we'll get each individual spoon. So I'm just gonna spray it with a little oil just so the meatballs don't stick to the pan. With these meatballs, you can make really small ones if you prefer having like 4 or 5 for lunch, like for meal prep. Or you can make larger ones and just have a couple on your plate. It's totally up to you. We're gonna do kind of large ones here.
If you're making them too big, you can always use your wife's smaller petite hand as a measuring size. See, looks similar to the one she's making. Perfect. This is the toss across method, where we just toss it from side to side, get it nice and rounded. You can see that it takes a little bit more time, but it is more fun while we're doing this.
And it ends up the person helping does all the
we have a perfectly rounded meatball. You can't change that kind of perfection with speed.
And you want to get most of them uniform so that they do cook around the same amount of time and that there's no raw meatballs while one is getting burnt.
We're all learning today. We have our quality control expert, Nicole, to help make sure that our meatballs are the proper size. You can see my rejected hamburger patty was thrown back in. It's an unfortunate time. This could be a fun thing too for you to do with your children, and you can also be the quality control expert and reject all their meatballs. It'll help build character. I somehow have more meat in the bowl. Wow, they are all the same size now. She does this with perfection.
So this makes about 25 medium-sized meatballs.
Plus the meatball we lost on our hands. We have the oven preheated to 375 degrees, and we are ready to get these meatballs cooking.
And it's going to take about 20 to 25 minutes.
So it's coming to a boil now, so we're going to stir it a little bit more. We did stir it initially just to mix it up as well, but we'll know that this is done when Nikki says it's done. Nikki, when is it done?
You can turn it down to a low heat. It doesn't need to boil anymore. It should start to thicken now that it's boiling.
I'm excited because we're this close to eating this after we're done.
Yeah, so we're actually gonna display this for you in meal prep containers because like I said, this is a great meal prep option for the work week. While we were cooking the meatballs, I did have some brown rice going on the stove, so we're just gonna put a half of a cup of brown rice in each container. Okay, next is gonna be the meatballs, so we're gonna put it 3 per container. And the reason we have leftover sauce is because we are going to drizzle it over the meatballs and the rice at this step so that we can get a little bit more flavor from the rice since we just did a plain brown rice for this. You could do 1 spoon over the meatballs, 1 spoon over the rice, or whatever you prefer. This is a bit of a hot sauce, so keep that in mind when you're spooning it.
I do love spooning.
Big spoon or little spoon?
Sometimes you just need to be a little spoon, but I'm okay with big spoon.
And we also roasted some sugar snap peas. So we don't really have much left because Brian's been snacking on them throughout this whole shooting process. So
You're not you when you're hungry.
So if you can put an even amount in each one so that there is enough for each container.
That means we're going to be doing about 4 peas right now. Don't be afraid to be like Oprah with this. You get some peas, and you get some peas. Everybody gets some peas. Now we're down to my favorite part of the cooking experience, which is actually the eating experience. This is a little spicy with the sriracha, but it's complemented by that honey flavoring, and it's really very delicious. I recommend trying it.
Yep, and we just garnished it with some sesame seeds and green onions on top just for that presentation piece. So let's dig in.
Whether you're a savage like me and ate a whole meatball, or you're reserved like her and you had a little bite of one, this is delicious.
Yeah, it definitely has a kick to it, so be cautious of how much sriracha you do add. You could always tone it down with that piece of the sauce and then add everything else as is. So we really hope you enjoyed cooking with us today.
Please join us next time for Cooking with Dakotas. Thanks again for watching. You should absolutely subscribe to our channel by clicking that subscribe button below. We recommend it.
And share this with your friends. They might like these recipes as well.
Comment what you want to see and what kind of recipe you want to have.
And if you do make any of these recipes, snap a picture, put it in the comments below so we see that you are enjoying these recipes and are trying something new.
Or you can also @ us on Instagram or any of our social @ Cooking with Dakotas. Thanks again for watching.